It's the Wrestling Caucus. I'm Peter Ang,
I am Smiley Ariaga.
and today we're talking about lots of things. And I was thinking, well, there's gonna be a lot to talk about because we have two different shows, and there was this show, and then there was that show. But now there's so much more to talk about, and the giant elephant in the room is Mr. CM Punk returned to WWE World Wrestling Entertainment for the first time in 9 years at
Yeah.
Survivor Series. So first things first, what are you thinking?
What is sellout? How dare you try to make this company millions of dollars? Like, I'm very, 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 very happy. Like, because now we have CM Punk, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, all in the same company. That's insane. That's fucking insane. On paper, nothing should go wrong, but WWE, well, but hey, look, I look. Last night's show was pretty good. Yeah. For the most part, I enjoyed it a lot more than I did Full Gear in some ways. But yeah, no, last night's show was very fun.
Yeah, I think Punk being back to WWE, I think is great for him financially, and I think he's got a lot of unfinished business in WWE. I think he still should be able to main event WrestleMania. He's always just been on the card and doing great things on the card, and he should be the main event if you ask me. But all the bad blood, the past 9 years, the lawsuits, the stuff he said about Triple H to his face, to his credit. I think honestly that was the past. That was 9 years ago. There's a lot of money to be made, and everyone involved knows how important CM Punk is to pro wrestling. Right now, I think in AEW he was the ace, and when he was in WWE, he was one of the aces. It
Yeah,
was John Cena, him, Lesnar, like those are the guys, and The Rock, but
it's
Punk and
crazy.
Brian Danielson too. But like
Yeah,
now, I think there's a look at the talent that you just named right now. I'm an optimist. I'm not really much of a skeptic, but CM Punk's backstage issues to me are just irrelevant at this point. It's all about you're an attraction.
and,
You know,
and honestly, I'm not gonna get into it, but like if people want to keep pretending it was just his issues, they can keep doing that.
no,
It wasn't
no,
just him, but
absolutely not.
honestly, yeah,
All in all, he's going to be a great asset to WWE again. As we saw, the crowd loved him, and there's plenty more for him to do. So I'm just waiting to see. But before we jump into Full Gear and then Survivor Series, who do you think are going to be some of his first opponents, and who would you like to see him wrestle? Both, two things.
well, immediately it's a no-brainer. Seth Rollins, it's a no fucking brainer. Like, it's like Seth has been taking jabs at him for this whole time. Hell, some of his segments have been teasing Punk coming back. Like, look, hey, listen, the same way. Who was Cody's first opponent when he came to WWE again?
Seth.
Yeah, and now you have another guy coming from AEW about to have who could have another great match with Seth, another great feud with Seth. So yeah, Seth Rollins, but down the line, AJ Styles, Gunther, Randy Orton. Honestly, I'd like to see him wrestle Randy Orton again. Randy Orton, lately, he cares more, so I would love to see that. And Roman Reigns again too, because Roman Reigns has had something to say about Punk. And think about it. These guys who came up in the Shield, Punk helped them come up. Like,
Yep.
you know, in fact, Punk was one of their earliest opponents on Raw, like Seth, Dean, and Moxley, and Roman. So Punk wrestling Seth, he's actually, you know what? On his way out, he wrestled Moxley, and it was great. And
Yeah.
now he can wrestle Seth and Roman. It brings it full circle, honestly.
Yeah, as a built-in decade-long story here, he was at the beginning of their careers, and there's a lot you can do. And the Gunther thing, yes, I would love to see that. Who wouldn't want to pay money to see that?
Gunther and
But what CM Punk was doing in AEW, working with newer talent like Ricky Starks, for example, I think the same thing is going to happen with WWE. There's a lot of people that he can work with. And he's never worked Seth really, in like a major program, because Seth is a much bigger star than he was a decade ago. So it's a different playing field. Him and Cody would be something,
And now Roman can actually cut a promo now.
Yeah, Roman's the best he's ever
Yeah,
been.
they can have promo segments now.
Yeah, like that's a money match if I ever heard it. Him and like a Santos Escobar, for example. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Punk and
yeah.
Dragon Lee, somebody like
Punk and
that.
Rey Mysterio again.
Well, sure, yeah.
Oh no, wait. Well, they've been putting Rey Mysterio in some weird angles lately. I think he's feuding with Santos Escobar, right? Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah,
later.
more so like newer up and coming talent, but I would love to see Punk, or like you said, Gunther, definitely. Maybe Punk and Cody, but mostly like what I'm thinking is like at the top of mind is Cody, Gunther, and Roman. Seth would be a nice added value there, but AJ Styles as well, Shinsuke Nakamura, somebody like that. But I am very excited to see, because we're recording this the Monday after Survivor Series, so he's going to be on Raw today. So I'm really excited to see what he's going to say. So
you actually have to watch Raw today.
You actually do. You actually have to watch Raw. Like, we actually have to. I really loved one more thing on Punk. I love the fact that he came out in just a plain t-shirt, no merch yet. It's almost like he's like an outlaw. He just showed up. It's cool.
Like he was just backstage looking for the Fuker. It's like, oh hey Phil, hey, you want to go through the curtain? Yeah, why not?
He was able to get in, even though it was a hot ticket. He was able to get in.
Yeah, they let him in,
Yeah.
Hey, look, listen, it's been 24 hours. No fights have happened, so everything's fine. For now, everything's fine.
For now.
Imagine 2 minutes before Raw, like 2 minutes from now, a backstage altercation happens in Gorilla. Oh Jesus!
And it's filmed.
Oh God, yeah, I hope it's filmed. It better be filmed. They film
CM
everything.
Punk puts Triple H in a front face lock.
Oh my God.
Oh boy! All right, it's so good. I'm so happy Punk's back. Punk is.
I just wanted to be happy. I just wanted to be happy.
Yeah, we need Punk in wrestling right now. All right, so Full Gear, AEW, CM Punk's former employer. So, give me something that you loved and something that you hated. So give me one, not hated. Even with a strong word. Well,
I had to ask something that I hated.
Right. Give me one thing that stood out to you that was just like, this is bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got one right here. Okay, so you would say that AEW has a pretty stacked roster, right?
Yeah.
Enough people to fill a card from top to bottom, a pay-per-view, if you will.
Yeah. The show was 5 hours long, so yeah.
Yes. Why the fuck is the world champion for the third pay-per-view in a row wrestling on the pre-show if he's in the main event? And it's probably like, okay, to set up the main event. That's what you have TV for. You have 3 shows a week. You can't find time to put that pre-show match he had with Joe, which wasn't bad. That couldn't have been the go home to the show. And and they did that in WWE. They had something. Granted, WWE schedule is more rigorous. I know that, but for a while, years ago, they had Seth doing double duty on Raw every week, doing house shows, and he got injured. You don't want to overexpose and overblow your champion. You have a stacked roster. Like, we were talking about this last night. I remember mentioning this to Laura. I was saying, you don't have the lead actor fucking sweeping in the beginning of the show for the crowd to see. Okay? Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, I think that I didn't have a problem with it when they did it for All In, because that's the biggest show of the year. Doing that once, fine. But I'm agreeing with you in this time, in the sense that you don't want to overbook what you're trying to do. You don't want to like spread one of your biggest stars too thin. And now he's nursing some injuries right now. So that being said, going forward, like,
that's great. That's great.
So you can't just put him everywhere, because he is a star, but like, you don't want to just spread him everywhere. You know what I mean? And you have so many hours of television to set anything you need to set up. So for me, the biggest thing, honestly, it's like it's the same thing for Survivor Series, which we'll talk about from a production standpoint, including the buy-in, which it wasn't bad at all. This show was 5 hours long. I'm sorry. Every AEW pay-per-view does not need to be 4 hours long. It doesn't need to
You have
be.
one every month.
Yeah, like no, like WWE did this. You don't need give me a show like this, 6, 7 matches, maybe. Let's get out of here by 11 o'clock. Oh, why? Like, why are you going all the way to midnight?
They used to have that mentality. They used to think that way. They used to think, you know what? We're not gonna spread everyone too thin. We're gonna have like to the point shows, but now they're doing a lot of the dumb shit WWE does.
When you do 4 pay-per-views a year and your shows are 4 hours, okay, it's still too long, but fine. But when you're doing shows like monthly now, including the Ring of Honor shows, come on, man. Like, you don't need because we're gonna forget about some of this stuff. You know what I mean?
I already have forgotten about a lot of
in this. A 5-hour show, it's like you're not gonna remember everything, you know? But not all these shows need to be far. Give me 3 hours max. I think like a Double or Nothing, All In or All Out. If you want to go a little longer, okay. But depending what the card is, but every pay-per-view does not need to go past 11 o'clock. You know, I enjoyed Wrestle Dream. It's a great show. But the fact that there was 3 matches left after 11 o'clock, like come on. Wrap it up, boys. It's unacceptable. I can't.
I think they're trying to have long Japanese style matches, but they're not in that quality.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Wrestle Kingdom is 2 days, and they have like 15 matches per card, and you really only want to see 3 or 4 matches, but then the rest are just a bunch of tags that you forget about. Like, you know what I mean?
But that's like AEW shows every week, though. It's just like some matches you want to see, and then a bunch of fucking like 20-man tags. You already get that every week. We need that for every month at a pay-per-view too.
You got 5 hours, 6 hours, 6 hours? Was it 2 hours Wednesday, 2 hours Saturday? 5 hours. 5 hours of TV. You can put some of those matches on some of those shows. Like, we don't need 5-hour pay-per-views every month. But all right.
Especially 5-hour pay-per-views where your world champion is working twice, but ugh.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Tell me something that you liked about Full Gear.
That
stood out to you in the best way.
Oh my God. Tony Storm versus aside from a slightly wonky finish, this match was the only match of this night where I felt like I was watching a professional wrestling show. They were going by the rules and still having a very entertaining and hard-hitting match, and also a very competitive match too. Going into this, I was like, I don't know, maybe it's too early for Tony to get the title, but by the end of it, yeah, Tony being champion, perfectly fine. Despite the fact that Aubrey Edwards, the referee, literally saw the weapon she used to cheat. Despite that, this was my favorite match in the show. It was wonderful.
Yeah, aside from, Aubrey Edwards literally seeing, but it's like the referees choose what they want to see, what they don't want to see. I knew at Grand Slam, when we saw Tony Storm there, I'm like, this woman needs to be champion right now. This character is too great. But I did like that match. That match was really, really very entertaining. And Tony Storm's character is just outstanding. Because you can't these days, like, everybody's a good wrestler, right? Everyone's a great athlete. There's so many great athletes, but we need some good character work too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what really draws me in. Like, your personality.
But that's what I love about Tony Storm. It's like, she's a great wrestler and she has a good character, but she incorporates her character into the basics of her wrestling style, into every little thing she does, whether it's a rope break, whether it's a little thing, she puts character into it. That's what being a pro wrestler means. At least that's what I love about pro wrestling. With guys like Eddie Guerrero, he put character into every movement he did. And that's what people like Tony Storm do.
He's like Gorgeous George meets Marilyn Monroe. I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, and she does great. She does great too. She does wonderful.
Yeah.
Like she looks great kicking anyone's ass. She's great.
The one thing I enjoyed about Full Gear is a match type that I don't like to go out of my way to go see. but when it's done well, I can enjoy it. I'm talking about Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page and their Texas Death Match. Now, I did enjoy the Moxley and Hangman, the Texas Death Match more for the sense that it was a little bit more contained. It was still violent, but it was still a little bit more contained. I think this time they went a little too far. I could have done without the spot where Hangman was drinking the blood of Mr. Shane Strickland, and
Stupid.
I could have done
Fucking
without that.
stupid. It was cool
Yeah.
when Age of the Fall did it in the Ring of Honor. Wasn't cool here.
Yeah, I just don't think I understand why the match went out of hand because the way this was set up, Hangman needed to kill him. And he did. He killed him. He destroyed him. But he didn't win, but he went nuts. It wasn't about winning a contest at that point. But I really enjoy what they did overall. They did a lot of clever stuff. And they went to the extreme. And you know what? I don't love a lot of deathmatch type of stuff, but I can enjoy a Nick Gage and Schlack prison death glass match. Or when Nick Gage came to AEW, wrestled Jericho, and they had the pizza cutter. That's kind of cool. And I can enjoy an Onita Terry Funk exploding barbed wire death match. It's cool, but I don't go out of my way to go see it. But when it's done well, I can enjoy it. But barring from the drinking blood spot, I was thoroughly entertained by this. I really liked it. Yeah, but it was a long show, but Full Gear I thought was pretty good. I liked it better than last year's, but I just wish it wasn't 5 hours.
Works. I do hope Swerve now works someone else after this. I'm done.
Yeah, I also say this, like those two work very well together. I think they should wrestle again down the line. Hopefully Swerve is some sort of champion down the line. Maybe they can meet for a belt. I don't know what belt, doesn't matter, but
yeah,
I would love to see these two work again.
Wrestle the world champion. I would like that.
Yeah, something like that, or whatever. He's in the new tournament that they got, so hopefully he wins that or comes closer. Something, he gets something. He needs something. Swerve is amazing, and so is Hangman. They're both great, but Swerve, they gotta elevate him a little bit right now.
I'm not worried about Hangman because I know no matter what, he will always get chances. He'll be fine. Swerve needs to win a title.
Yeah,
Hangman has been world champion before.
Yeah, exactly.
And he will be again.
Yeah, he's been in the limelight, so it's time for somebody else. Glad it's somebody like us. So,
yeah, that's right.
Exactly. Shit. All right, moving on to Survivor Series. What did you like about this? What stood out to you the most?
The women's War Games was freaking good. It was actually like last year's women's War Games. I said like a bunch of stuff was happening. Here they paced a lot of their cool stuff in this match this year. Not only looked better, but it was paced better too. Like everyone paced themselves, so nothing really not a lot of wonky things happened. A lot of stuff looked really good, and it was violent, but they didn't go too far. But it was really fun. It was this was just a fun match.
Yeah, it wasn't just a bunch of stuff happening like last year's was. Last year there was a bit of a story there, but like here, I think there was a little bit more of that, and there was some outlandish stuff. My favorite being Io Shirai putting the garbage can over her head and jumping off. Because I'm thinking when she climbed to the top, okay, she's probably gonna do a moonsault because that's what she does, right? She put the trash can over her head. I'm like, where are you going with this?
Yeah, she jumps.
I'm like,
I mean,
I thought it looked good too.
If Charlotte wasn't in this match, Io Shirai would have attempted to backflip with the trash can on her head. If Charlotte's in the match and she's doing the moonsault, probably.
Yeah, but the thing is, with Charlotte, like Charlotte's too tall to pull that off. But her just holding the trash can and flipping, that would probably work for Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte would have done that.
But it was funny with Io because she's short.
The visual of Io putting the trash can on her head is great. Like,
amazing.
No, this was good. This was good.
Yeah. For me, what stood out was both of the War Games matches. I thought both of them were very good. They were very dramatic. They didn't get very bloody. Like these War Games matches aren't bloody, but they are chaotic and there's a lot going on. And, they do create a sense of like drama. Like this match is not, it's not, how do I say this? It's chaos contained. You know what I mean? Like they are, they're doing whatever they could, but they're not going Hangman Swerve Strickland level. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're not going FMW, they're not
They're
even
not doing
going.
anything Hangman would do.
Yeah, they're not doing anything that they did in the MLW War Games match. But Terry Funk had the fire, he came out with a stick of fire and he just went nuts. But this was I thought it was really good. They were very entertaining. They were pretty long matches, but I was entertained throughout. I loved in the men's War Games match where they gave the heels the advantage for most of them for most of the match, and the teasing of Randy Orton, will he show up, will he not show up, I thought was really cool. And them calling back to the fact that the Bloodline took out Randy Orton. I think they had a program with Matt Riddle and Randy Orton, and
Oh, the jerk, right?
yeah, but so Randy Orton is not like, he wasn't like 100% pleased that he has to team with Jey Uso. I thought it was really cool. And
no, honestly, last year's men's War Games was more story. Like the story of last year's men's War Games was incredible with Sammy and the Bloodline.
Yeah.
The story was a little lighter, but it was a lot more. It was still really fun, and it was to the point. It was very to the point.
Yeah, it was like kind of like, because I think the Bloodline stuff was like starting something, but this was kind of like wrapping it up. You know what I mean? Wrapping some things up. And I love the fact that with Cody reuniting with Randy was really cool.
Yeah. But after the RKO, they like dapped up, like they gave like a little dap afterwards. That was really good.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like the one thing about the women's War Games match, I will say, was the fact they gave the baby faces the advantage, because when they had, I was like, what? I was like, why are the baby faces jumping the heel? Like, why are they double teaming the heel? It's like, it was a little backwards in that regard. But other than that, like, I thought they did a really good job. I thought it was a very entertaining matches. But what's something that you didn't like about this show?
One thing I didn't like about this show, You see, here's the the funny thing is, the stuff I didn't care about, I don't remember. I don't remember at all. Like, what the hell? You know, the thing is, Miz had a good match tonight. Granted, Gunther is the man. Gunther can make anyone look great. And Miz, Miz is fine, but this was the best Miz match. That was the best Miz match I've ever seen, Gunther and Miz.
Yep.
What the hell else happened on this show? Because I'm sure it was something. I guess there wasn't really anything on the show that I hated. More so things that I just didn't care for. Oh wait, one thing I hated: the fucking commercials.
Oh,
the
God.
Commercials. No, because they incorporated some backstage. I'm not gonna call them segments. They felt like skits with commercials. I'm like, I don't.
Well, they were skits. Yeah.
I don't need to see wrestlers eating chips. Like, I don't need to see that shit. These people, they go to the gym like a lot. They're very healthy. They're not eating that shit. Fuck you. I don't need to see pretty people eating chips. I'm sorry.
I mean, I can understand them doing that kind of stuff, like that kind of sponsored branded content stuff on like social media or something like that. But to, having, what's it called? The ring skin branded, that's cool too. The mats too, because AEW does it, it's fine. But like, to have little skits in between the matches, it's like, let's just get to it. Let's get the action going. It's pay-per-view or whatever, premium live event, whatever you want to call it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There are two things I like watching wrestlers do. When they're not wrestling, I like watching them cut promos.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch them eating, in corny commercials. I don't know. But I really, honestly, that was like there really isn't a lot of this show that I hated. What I didn't really care for, I don't remember, honestly.
Yeah, like, how about this War Games match is sponsored by Ruffles, or this ladder match is sponsored by Coke or something? I don't know. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
not enough. They put the branding all around the fucking ring. Like,
that's fine, but like, to have those little skits between the matches, it's a little cheesy.
Yeah, that's too much.
I guess for me, this show, it's another production issue. Like, this show had a runtime of 2 hours and 44 minutes. Right?
What?
Yeah. That is amazing. That's
What?
amazing.
This
Yes.
was the best WWE shows in. It was only 2 hours.
2 hours and 44 minutes. I think when Hunter was putting this together, he had the NXT takeover mindset. 5 matches, get them home in under 3 hours. However, an hour in, I was getting tired. You know why? The video packages. There's too many
Oh
video packages.
God.
There's too many of them. What are you
God.
doing to people? When you go to the shows live, it's exhausting because you're sitting down and you're watching video package, video package, video package. A half hour in, you're exhausted. You're exhausted. It's too much. Why do I need to see a video package about Rhea Ripley when you just aired that on the pre-show? And it's like it's too much. You have 7 hours of TV, you know? You have 7 hours of TV. Give me a 30-second clip or something. I don't need a whole rundown of Rhea Ripley's whole career. Just as an example, they'll air a video package about Brock Lesnar for no reason. Like, no. Match. Get out of there. That's it.
Like, unless Lesnar's coming back, then I don't mind seeing a. But honestly, there's so many goddamn video packages. I don't even remember which ones I saw. I just saw. It's just a barrage.
It's too much. After each match, they just aired endless amounts of video packages. Like, I don't need to see.
We're gonna get that on Raw tonight, right? That's why I'm definitely gonna watch the first hour, but because the first hour apparently is gonna be commercial free. But Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, the next 2 hours is gonna be not just the commercial break. I can deal with that. But the video packages, like, and you pay for Peacock, but I feel like, bro, like, I'm watching, like, you know, when you watch like Roku TV or Pluto, you get the commercials. You know, it's just, I feel like that. Like, I'm paying, what's the premium I'm paying for? You know what I'm saying? But
that's true. You're paying for premium. You're still getting all these ads. What the hell?
It's nuts. It's nuts. It's just too much. They gotta chill with those. But other than that, I thought Survivor Series was excellent. You know, the CM Punk surprise at the end was just the cherry on top. That was phenomenal. He didn't say a word, which is great because, like, wrestling doesn't stop. Right, the next day, people are gonna want to tune into Raw or SmackDown to see, oh, what's CM Punk gonna do? What's gonna happen? We haven't seen this guy in over a decade, in almost a decade. So I thought that was really good. And even Full Gear was a great show. You know, it really was. And yeah, they're just kind of like finding their footing again, you know, as far as, like, you know, who our stars are, you know, and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed that show as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's the Wrestling Caucus. You can follow us on all the socials. The links are in the episode descriptions. All right, later days.